In the golden age of American muscle, Detroit built some of the loudest, wildest machines the world has ever seen. But a few were so extreme, so expensive, or so badly timed, almost nobody bought them. They slipped through the cracks, built in tiny numbers, then vanished. Today, we are diving into the rarest American muscle cars ever built. These are not just collectibles, they are ghost cars from an era when Detroit went too far. And now they are worth more than most people's homes. Our story starts with a car that was supposed to go to war, but never got the chance. The 1974 Torino King Cobra. In the late 1960s, NASCAR became an aerodynamic battlefield. Ford's answer to Chrysler's winged warriors was the King Cobra. This was a purpose-built NASCAR missile. Under the hood sat a massive 429 cubic inch Cobra Jet V8, factory rated at 375 horsepower, backed by a heavy-duty 4-speed. The real story, the one that screamed race car, was the nose. Ford designers sculpted a wild, elongated, aerodynamic front end to slice through the air. It looked like a street car wearing a fighter jet's helmet. And then, the war ended before it truly began. NASCAR rules suddenly changed, homologation requirements shifted, and the escalating costs became unsustainable. Rising insurance rates strangled the high-performance market. Ford pulled the plug. Depending on which historian you believe, as few as 2 or perhaps 3 true King Cobras were ever fully completed. That means we are talking about a car so rare you can count the known survivors on one hand. When one surfaces with irrefutable documentation, you are easily looking into the high hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Torino King Cobra is the definition of a ghost muscle car, built for a battle Detroit never actually got to fight. If the King Cobra is a ghost, the 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda convertible is a holy relic, a multi-million-dollar legend born from an improbable combination of raw power and terrible timing. Plymouth built thousands of Barracudas, but only a minuscule fraction, just 14, left the factory as convertibles with the legendary 426 cubic inch Hemi engine, 14. Let that number sink in. This was the absolute pinnacle of the muscle car food chain. The Hemi was a race-bred monster designed to dominate drag strips and super speedways. It delivered a conservative factory rating of 425 horsepower, but in reality was closer to 500. Dropping this colossal engine into a relatively compact E-body convertible, especially with a 4-speed manual and its iconic pistol grip shifter, turned the Cuda into a rolling middle finger to logic and emissions. The timing could not have been worse for a production vehicle. By 1970, the muscle car era was cracking under immense pressure. These Hemi convertibles were brutally expensive and nearly impossible to insure. For most buyers, they were simply too wild. Decades later, that bad timing, that utter lack of demand, turned into automotive gold. In the modern collector market, a documented Hemi Cuda convertible is not just expensive, it is a multi-million-dollar object. $2 million is not an unusual price. Some have pushed past $3.5 million at auction. 14 cars. That is not just rare, that is a microscopic production run that accidentally created one of the most valuable American muscle cars of all time. Each one is a unique survivor, a testament to an era of unbridled automotive excess that ended far too soon. Next up, a car that pretended to be a normal Chevrolet while actively hiding a full-blown race program under its skin, the L88 Corvette. This wasn't a car for joyrides. It was a purebred competition machine, secretly slipped into production by Zora Arkus Duntov. In 1967, Chevrolet quietly offered the L88 package to an elite group of customers. Officially, it featured a 427 cubic inch V8 engine rated at a modest 430 horsepower. But this was a deliberate understatement to deter casual buyers and insurance companies. In reality, with its high compression and aggressive cam, it was closer to 500 horsepower. Chevrolet did everything possible to scare away those casual buyers. The L88 option mandated no radio, no heater, and no air conditioning. This wasn't built for comfort. It was built to win races. It also demanded high-octane race fuel, making it impractical for everyday use. Because of this aggressive strategy, very few people checked the L-88 box. Only 20 L-88 Corvettes were built in 1967. Across its entire production run from 1967 through 1969, the total L-88 production was just over 200 cars. Today, a documented 1967 L-88 is one of the most valuable Corvettes on the planet, with prices easily in the $1 to $3.5 million range. It is the perfect example of how a factory-built race car, ingeniously disguised as a street machine, became one of the rarest and most coveted American muscle legends. Not all rare muscle cars came directly from the factory's highest secret programs. Some came from visionary dealers who were just as audacious as the manufacturers. Enter Don Yenko and the 1969 Yenko Nova SC427. Don Yenko was already a legendary figure for building brutal, highly tuned Camaros and Chevelles. But the Nova was different. It was smaller, lighter, and far more unassuming. Stuffing a massive 427 cubic inch big block V8 engine, originally designed for Corvettes, into that compact Nova shell created a car that was dangerously fast. Yenko's team had to perform significant modifications, not just to fit the engine, but to upgrade the suspension, brakes, and drivetrain. This transformation resulted in a vehicle that was a true giant killer, capable of embarrassing purpose-built sports cars. Only 38 Yenko Nova SC427s were ever built. That makes it the rarest of all the classic Yenko muscle cars. Most people have never seen one in person. Many did not survive the grueling life of drag, strip duty, or street racing days. For collectors, the surviving cars are mythical. When one comes up for sale with verifiable paperwork, the numbers quickly push deep into six figures and can easily flirt with the $1 million mark. It is the classic sleeper. A small, simple body hiding one of the nastiest engines Chevrolet ever bolted into a streetcar. General Motors had one more secret weapon, born from a clever loophole and pure racing ambition: the 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. On the surface, it looked like a nicely optioned first-generation Camaro, but under the hood, it was something else entirely. The ZL1 wasn't a regular production option. It was ordered through Chevrolet's Central Office Production Order, or COPO, system, a backdoor for dealers to order specialized fleet vehicles, or, in this case, a ridiculously powerful engine. The ZL1 engine was an all-aluminum 427 cubic inch V8, originally designed for Can-Am and drag racing. It was incredibly light for its size, brutally expensive to build, and totally unnecessary for the average buyer. Like the L-88, it was conservatively rated at 430 horsepower, but produced over 500. That extreme nature is exactly why almost nobody ordered it. The ZL1 engine option alone added an astonishing $4,700 to the price, nearly doubling the cost of a standard Camaro. This made it one of the most expensive and exclusive cars Detroit ever produced. Only 69 ZL1 Camaros were ever built. 69 cars, each effectively a street-legal race car with a factory warranty. Many were snapped up by drag racers. Today, a real ZL1 with documented provenance is a seven-figure car. $1 million or more is realistic. The ZL1 is a perfect example of Detroit going too far in the best possible way. Almost nobody wanted it when it was new because of its exorbitant price and uncompromising performance, which is exactly why it is one of the rarest and most valuable American muscle cars today. From the Ford Torino King Cobra that never got to fight, to the 14 Hemi Cuda convertibles, from the L-88 Corvette and Yenko Nova, to the all-aluminum ZL1 Camaro, these cars all share the same story. They were too expensive, too extreme, or too narrowly focused for the everyday buyer. They were built in tiny, almost accidental numbers, often at the turbulent end of the muscle car era, then forgotten. Decades later, that bad timing is exactly what turned them into legends. Today, they are museum pieces auction headliners, and dream cars for collectors who grew up in the shadow of Detroit's wildest, most ambitious years. The rarest American muscle cars are more than just metal and horsepower. They are time capsules from the brief, glorious moment when car companies cared more about going faster than about making economic sense. And the fewer they built, the more priceless they became. Want to go deeper into the stories you love? Join the Rare Wheels Stories community and unlock exclusive content. Shift into first gear for just $5.99 a month and get early access to every new video. Or unlock the Collector's Vault at $14.99 a month for early access plus exclusive deep dive videos you won't find anywhere else. Support the passion and get more of the stories that matter. Click join below.